Hey everybody, Brian Ray with North Texas Waste Removal. So about 6 months ago, I implemented a new financial system in my business. It completely changed the way that I do finances, and ever since then, I've been profitable and have been able to pay myself a salary for the last 6 months for the first time since starting the business in January 2023. Today, I'm in Galveston, Texas with my son. We're about to get on a fishing charter, and every bit of this has been paid for because of me implementing this new system. So I'll show you what I did and how I did it right after this. All right, y'all, welcome back. So first things first, the fishing trip went great. I'll have a link for that charter, and that guy was an unbelievably nice guy. Really tried to get us on the fish as much as possible. So we went down there and fished for bull reds, and big fish. I've never been fishing for those before, and limited out in the afternoon. So great time, good time with my son. And like I told you, the way that I've changed the way that I do all my finances paid for that trip for me and my son to be able to go down there. So I wanted to share that with y'all. And so I'll give you a little bit of the backstory. I started listening to a podcast from a guy named Henry Lopez. It's the How of Business, HOW of Business. And I would strongly suggest every owner of a dumpster rental company to listen to that podcast. It's everything is lined out, all of his T's are crossed, his I's are dotted, and he puts things in a way that are very easy to understand. So I was listening to one of his podcasts, and the deal is every guest he has on his podcast recommends a book, and he has a list of the top 10 books. Well, this book I think was the second most highly recommended book from CEOs, SEO companies, just people that he has on his show. And so I read it. I went down the list. I read number 1 first, which is called the EMyth. And it's an unbelievable book if you want to learn how to work on your business and not be caught up in the business. So that's what the EMyth is about. The second book is the book I read about my finances, and it's a cross between the Dave Ramsey envelope system, but done electronically in banks, and this guy's system. So the book is actually called Profit First. It's a guy named Mike Michalowicz, and it's a very easy read. And I am not understating this. That book has changed my business in a positive way, unlike anything else I've done. It has made me profitable from the moment that I implemented it. It has given me the ability to pay myself a salary for the first time, and it has taken an unbelievable amount of stress off myself as far as income and finances, and do I have enough to pay my bills, and scrounging on what's left over. So a 10,000 foot view of this is traditionally with bookkeepers, accountants, and since it started has been, if you take your revenue and then you minus all your expenses for your business, whatever's left over is your profit. This guy flips that upside down, and it's really hard to take a hold of and to trust at first. But his philosophy is that if you take all your revenue or income, then you pay yourself and take a profit, after that, whatever's left is for your expenses. And the system that he puts in place and how to do that is absolutely wonderful. So, like I said, the 10,000 foot view is you have multiple checking accounts at a bank. So you have an income where all your bills, if you do credit card payments, cash, checks, everything goes into an income checking account labeled income. And then you have another checking account that's labeled profit. And then you have another checking account that is labeled owner's comp. Then you have another checking account that's labeled taxes. And you can add additional, and then you have another checking account that's labeled expenses or operating expenses. And then if you want to do savings accounts and things like that, you can also do that. But those five are your fundamentals. So you have your income, you have your operating expenses, you have your owner's comp, you have your profit, and then you have your taxes. So those are the 5 basic checking accounts you have to do. So what you do is all your revenue income come into your income account. And on the 10th and 25th of each month, based on percentages, you pay your profit account, you move money into your profit account, you move money into your owner's comp account, and you move money into your tax account. And then whatever is left over in that income account after you've done that gets moved into your operating expenses account, and that's where you pay your bills. So this really organizes everything in a very easy to see way, and it forces you to really dive deep into your operating expenses and all the money that you're spending and lean up. So you can do this one of 2 ways. He has formulas and charts in the book that you can look at, and based on your profit and loss stuff and things like that of previous years, you can input all that and come up with a certain percentage of what you're allocating. Or you could just do what I did, and I started allocating right at the beginning 1% in my profit, 1% in owner's comp, and then I did 10% in my tax account, and then everything left over was for my operating expenses. So that was 10, 11, 12. So 12% of all my income went into those 3 accounts, and then everything left over was moved into my operating expense account. And the whole deal is if I can run my business on the 100% that I was putting forth in my operating expenses, I can probably do it off of, what was that, 88%, and pay my profit, pay myself, and put money towards taxes. And I was able to do that. And so since then, I've slowly increased the amount of money that's gone into my profit, the amount of money that's gone into my owner's comp, and the amount of money that's going into my taxes. And I added a business savings account on top of that as well. So roughly right now, I have 5% of all revenue going into my profit account. I have 5% of all revenue going into my business savings account. I have 10% of all revenue going to pay me as the owner. And then everything that's left gets moved into my operating expense, and I pay all my bills, my rent, my commercial truck insurance, my truck payment, everything from my operating expense account. And that's including my cost of goods sold, which is gas and landfill fees. So everything gets paid out of that operating expenses. And over time, as I become more lean and as my business becomes more successful with a higher profit margin, I'm able to add more into my profit account, a higher percentage into my profit account, be able to pay myself even more than 10%, moving to 15, 20%, and really being able to look at my finances and find even additional ways that I can lean up my business. So on your profit account, all that money stays in there. And so every 2 weeks I pay myself out of my owner's comp account. So I moved 10% from income into owner's comp, and then I moved that into my personal checking account. That 10% is my salary. But on top of that, 5% of all my income or revenue is moving into that profit account, and it builds. And so once every quarter, I take half of that profit account, and it's money just for me. Hey, I'm the owner. I'm taking a profit distribution, and that money is just for me, not for the business, not ever for the business. It's for me. An example of that is that profit distribution is what paid for my fishing trip this last weekend. So I was able to take my 50% of what was in there, pay for my hotel, pay for the gas, pay for the food, pay for the charter, all that, and be able to take my son on a fishing trip. And it was a memory that I'll have for the rest of my life. So by doing this system, it has, like I said, it's given me the ability to pay myself. Back before, when I was doing income minus expenses equals profit, there was really hardly ever any money left over because everything got spent. For the first year and a half, I wasn't able to pay myself a salary. My business was never profitable because there was never money left over. And so by doing this system and forcing myself to become lean so I can do this system, from day one, I was profitable. I was able to pay myself a salary. And now when I do my quarterly taxes, that money's sitting in there. That money is sitting in there waiting for me to write that check. I don't have to worry about saving up for that, or I don't have to worry about where's the money going to come from to pay the state of Texas for my sales tax. Sales tax in Texas, we're talking 8.25%. I'm putting in 15%. So not only are my sales tax getting paid, which isn't mine anyway, not only is the sales tax getting paid, that extra percentage is going to pay my income taxes for 2024. So if I owe, I already have money set aside to pay for that, pay for those income taxes. So my business is paying my income tax as well. So the stress that has been taken off of me is, I can't tell you enough how much better I feel knowing that this system is in place, that my business is profitable, that I'm able to take a salary now, and that my taxes are taken care of. Plus, I have another account that's building up, my business savings account, for any types of things that are unexpected. So if my winch goes out and I got to spend another $2,500 to $3,000 on a new winch, hey, that money's there. I don't have to worry about it. So the book is called Profit First. The author's name is Mike Michalowicz. I'll have a link down to Amazon where you can find the book. But even on top of that, here in North Texas, American AF Dumpsters and Keystone Waste Solutions, that does roll-off trailers as well as roll-off dumpsters and all different kinds of things. And now they're selling trucks, roll-off trucks. American AF and Keystone Waste Solutions are partnering together. They started this last summer, and they're doing another one here in November. It's called the Lone Star Showcase. Going to have a lot of great guest speakers. Mike Michalowicz with Profit First is one of the guest speakers. So not only can you buy their book, you could buy a ticket to the Lone Star Showcase and be able to come see this guy in person and listen to him speak. And if you don't do anything for the rest of 2024, I highly recommend you implementing Profit First within your business. You will not regret it. Like I said, it's the single biggest thing I've done for the positive when it comes to my roll-off dumpster company, North Texas Waste Removal. So if you have any questions at all, text me, message me, email me, call me. I'll have a link not only to the Profit First book, but I will also have a link to where you can look at the Lone Star Showcase. So if you're in northern Louisiana, if you're anywhere in Texas, if you're in Oklahoma, I would be at this Lone Star Showcase. It's gonna be something that you don't regret, and you're gonna see a lot of great speakers that are gonna be able to help you with your roll-off dumpster business. And there's also gonna be quite a few vendors as well. So as always, I hope this helps. Y'all, this channel is a huge blessing, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.